new suit, and that brand new suit cost me $500 because I don't like to wear any kind of nonsense on my body. Then when I ordered that suit, I had to get a shirt that would tie, that would match with the suit. Then when I looked at it carefully, I even consulted with, some very close people. Then I ordered a tie. That tie matched. Oh Lord. Then when I put it, I said, no, the shoes did not work. It needs a lot of preparation to do this kind of research. There is historical evidence that's true.
My people of the Southern Cameroons, I want to start this analysis by saying congratulations again to each and every one of you that have been making your generous contribution towards legal clarity. Any successful revolution starts with law before war. Once you establish law, there is a high chance for you to make progress significantly, because even after war, we will be negotiating based on that foundation of law. Our founding fathers, our forefathers, left Nigeria in 1953 without bloodshed. Look at us today. We are worse than them. And this is very important. It breaks my heart to listen to a senior citizen like Mr. John Ba Akuro make fun of my UN visit. Field work is fundamentals to any credible research. And you can never compare this with a Google research. We will talk about how he made fun of my preparation for this UN visit. Our people have been bleeding for 65 years. This is no joke. These are people's lives in line. And I take everything I do here seriously. We'll go ahead and watch how he does his own research so that we can all learn. I'm not attacking anyone here personally. We use this as an opportunity to upgrade the standards in our community. There are only 3 areas that I tackle on this platform. The history of Southern Cameroons. I don't want any distortion on that history, because that is everything we have. Secondly, the standards. The standards that our people deserve better. Third, the vision. Where are we going? That is very important. So anyone that poorly addresses any of these areas, that has been my primary focus from day one on this platform. I will share a personal story with you, how I got involved in all of this. But before we do that, let's take a listen to how he does his own research. Take a look.
Strongly suggest, you don't call that rumor. You don't call that conspiracy theory. It is as clear and as simple as that. You don't call it rumor, you don't call it conspiracy theory. This is extremely misleading, because you try to make the people believe that some of the things that truly happened did not happen. Agreements, secret verbal agreements that, demonstrate clear threats to show that such a thing existed. And let's go back there. And it says again, key aspects of the trade-off and strategy. Listen, it's now talking of the key aspect of the trade-off and strategy. 1, removal of the independence option. I don't know, this gentleman who is saying these things, those of you who follow him, take note of this, because this...
Okay, that is how he does his research. I took my time and went to the United Nations. This is how he does his research on how Britain sold Southern Cameroons to France. So if Britain sold Southern Cameroons to France, they will upload it on Google for you to search it and read it like the way he does. But let's test this research strategy, because what I have is empirical evidence from UN archives. And it's for a purpose. Now, let's test this strategy. If you can Google this way and find credible information, Southern Cameroons will be free by now. This is my read for this month. Just this month. This is my read. Let's go ahead and test this strategy of research. Again, Google cannot be cited in any courtroom. Credible sources can. Let's test this strategy. This is what I did. You see, I'm attacking work, not an individual here. And we should be comfortable critiquing each other. That is how we grow. Critique the work, not the individual. Let's go ahead and test this research strategy. Because if this is how he does his research, then I wonder what those who are following him know about Southern Cameroons and whatever he has been sharing on his platform. I went ahead and plugged into Google the exact prompt he used for this research. Did the British have a sacred trade-off with France over Southern Cameroons at independence? That is his prompt. Now, let's go ahead and see. If you look to your right, you realize that there are some sources right there. That is why Google is not a credible source in diplomatic circles. You see Wikipedia, you see Facebook. Those are the sources from which this information is generated on Google. Many don't know that. Now, let's test that prompt. I plugged in that prompt on Google and it gave me other sources. And if you click one of those links, it takes you to a website. It's through that website that information is generated on Google. And it's coming from an Ambazonian.org website. So he is citing Ambazonian to our people as a credible source through Google. My people, the source he is citing is from an Ambazonian blog. And this is the message they have been feeding themselves with. Anyone can write anything and put on Google. And if you're searching for that, you will have something. That doesn't make it credible. That is why we do the work that we do here. I want you to know that there are status keepers that will fight clarity. And our job is to keep educating the public so that many are not misled. A quick story. You might be wondering, how did I get involved in all of this? My relative was kidnapped by Ambazonian fighters. He was in their custody for more than a month. They were collecting money from us on the regular. To say that is not enough, they still wanted to take his life. He escaped from their custody. The story the Ambazonian activist spread online about this story was shocking. All lies. This is someone that doesn't look for trouble. And he left home that morning before he was kidnapped, and we all know. But the story concocted by some Ambazonian activist that was circulating on social media got me thinking. They said he would have been killed. That is what Ambazonian activists said. This got me thinking. How many innocent people have been killed this way? I did not sort out to seek revenge. But I said, I will follow this to the end and make sure this problem is solved so our people can find freedom. That is what got me on this research. I'm not going to take words from hearsay. I'll do my own research. Get in contact with primary source. And that is why I went to the United Nations. Not to impress anyone. That is part of the legal process. Again, you establish law before war. And if law can work, what is the need for war? When people are limited in their diplomatic strategy, they believe no one else can come up with a solution. That is what we are dealing with here. He made fun of my preparation, that I talked about a suit for $500. I don't remember saying that. He also made fun of my preparation process to the UN. Critique my work, not my appearance. Because this is what he does every day. I took time to prepare. For example, I love wearing red tie, navy or black suit most of the time. Black symbolizes strength. Red symbolizes dominance. We have to teach because people don't know these things. If we say we are hosting an all-white party, that everyone should put on white, it doesn't mean you have to put on something expensive. That is the uniform for that event, just like our school uniform. So if I'm going to the United Nations for my research work, and I put on red, which projects dominance, or black, which projects strength, it doesn't match that mission. I put on the charcoal suit and the charcoal tie to show that I'm vulnerable and curious at the same time. That is why I talk about the dressing of that event. I'm teaching. I'm helping builders. Just 3 to 5% of a population build institutions that sustains a nation. So we are not looking for everyone here on this platform. Just that 3 to 5%. They will build Southern Cameroons. And they are reaching out in their numbers. And that is what matters. You see how he does his research? This is what our people have been feeding on. You can't cite this in any court or in any diplomatic circle. Do you understand? This cannot be cited in any courtroom. It's coming from an Ambazonian website. This is your destiny, Southern Cameroonians. I want to say this to every status keeper. I love you guys so much, and that is why I do what I do here. Repent and align with truth. Confusion is always threatened by clarity. This is where we are going with this, my people. After all this is said and done, we are going to set up a Southern Cameroon's archives, a credible website where the information I got from the UN after this legal process is done, we'll upload that on the website. Young Southern Cameroonians will be able to go in there and study that document and formulate their own thoughts. I was researching to find the oldest treaty, and I found a treaty between Britain and Spain in 1604 in an archive. This is why these nations develop, because they keep records. Others will say you should reward people because of effort. If a society rewards people because of effort, then you should never fail any student because they showed up in class. They made an effort. If our society is the society that rewards effort, then we are going nowhere. That means anyone that attempted to create Facebook should be rewarded, or YouTube should be rewarded, not the actual individuals that created Facebook. Or those who created Facebook, when they are talking about their journey, they must cite those who tried and failed. So when we think this way, we shouldn't be in a rush to blame the white man or blame other people. That somebody said in Jumba, no be marriage. So I can quote that in court. No, you must give that person credit. No, we can acknowledge what they said, but that is not a credible source. Tomorrow, young Southern Cameroonians will be able to cite what I found out at the United Nations, and they will be given a pass mark. If you write in Jumba, no be marriage, you will mark it wrong in class. And that cannot stand in diplomatic circles. Standards. We've built a society where what people say matters. I read the trusteeship document, Resolution 1608, to understand the exact problem Southern Cameroons is dealing with. Not based on what people are saying in the community. And with this depth of clarity, there should be little argument moving forward. Because this visit does two things. It shows you that there is no legitimate legal foundation for Ambazonian. That a union collapsed in 1984. That is an error in the history of Southern Cameroons. And if there is anything, those promoting Ambazonia should ask for forgiveness to the people of Southern Cameroons for declaring independence under that name, picking up a mission under that name that has led to thousands of people losing their lives and more than 1 million displaced. That is the first step to show the world that we are serious. And then we align on Southern Cameroons. I said, let's align on Southern Cameroons. They went to South Africa after listening to me. Did not humble themselves to call me and ask what are the next steps. They have opinions and suggestions. They went to South Africa and created SCACOF, Southern Cameroons Ambazonia United Front. These are your people doing this to you. La République du Cameroon has not criticized me. France has not criticized me. No white man has criticized me. People have been stalked like this. I mean, look at how he does his research, and he said they have a plan. If you were working for a company and you have 9 to 10 years and people's lives are on the line, and you make mistakes like this, we should give you another chance. No, they fire you. And he's saying people should be patient with them. Patient with you? Now, let's listen to how he states the plebiscite question. Again, this is a senior citizen. After 9 to 10 years in this struggle, let's listen to how he frames the plebiscite question.
Do that research, come back here and challenge me. And I'll know that I definitely didn't do my job properly. The importance of each event. This is very important for us to note. So now, let's get into those dates. On the 11th of February, 1961, the people of the Southern Cameroons are consulted in a referendum to determine whether, when they achieve independence, they would like to join with the already independent Federal Republic of Nigeria, or they would like to join with the already independent Republic of Cameroon. Get the condition very well. Upon achieving independence, who will you like to join with? Because the British said that the Southern Cameroons did not have a...
Upon achieving independence, once you have this foundation wrong, everything else, including your strategy, will be wrong. And the people of Southern Cameroon should not give you a chance on this. So we don't sit and say, oh, people are doing their own thing, you're doing your own thing, don't criticize other people. No, I'm elevating the standards on accuracy and precision. If you want mediocrity and a low life, just go remain in La République du Cameroon without solving this problem. If you, the people of Southern Cameroons, are emotional on issues like this, then you are not ready for change. We make corrections on this idea. If you can't get the plebiscite question right, whatever thing that follows will be wrong. The people of Southern Cameroon shouldn't give anyone a chance that can't properly state the plebiscite question. Our people deserve better. He was insulting how I dressed to the United Nations because I take this serious. Sometimes I look at how he dresses and shows up in a platform like this to talk to a people. I believe in you, Southern Cameroonians. I believe you deserve better. That is why I present myself a certain way. It's a uniform for a job. I'm not trying to impress anyone here. I'm a simple man. Anyone that lives around Houston that has come into close proximity with me, they know. But I'm disciplined. Work ethic is something I don't play with. Ask Southern Cameroonians back home, they will tell you. 4 a.m., 5 a.m., they call me from back home, I'm up. Some of them can't stand even my prayer time, reading time, they can't. I've taught many how to read books from Southern Cameroons. How do you read a book? How do you analyze that book? How do you extract wisdom from that book and apply it in real life? I read books to formulate my thoughts, not Google. I can use Google for definitions, not for research work. But research work that has to do with the people's destiny. If we were doing all those things and people were not dying back home, this would have been a different story. So if you feel a certain way because I help correct these issues, you have a problem. You have a serious problem. Responsible nations critique work. They critique work, not people. But he criticizes people, personalities. Even talked about how I was preparing for the United Nations. I should just show up in the United Nations anyhow. Because you don't have respect for any institution. You insult everyone. You don't have no respect for institutions. How will you have respect for someone like me? It's a shame to think that you can have the confidence to even turn on your camera and talk about me. We should have some standards in the community that these are some lines you don't cross. And with what I've done here, someone wrote in the comment section that you need to watch at least 15 videos from Roland Fru's platform before you make a comment. And I think that is true because that individual gets it. The people on this platform, it's for you that I do this. He said that to someone that was trying to critique. He said you need to watch at least 15 videos here. Let's go ahead and keep listening. But you've heard how he framed the plebiscite question. This is not an opinion. These are issues of records. Facts. They've confused facts with views today and opinions. The plebiscite question is not an opinion. It is a fact, a mechanism. Do you choose to gain independence by, he said, upon? Keep listening. This is the person leading you, showing you, show me your leader and I will show you your future. Let's keep listening.
Enough resources to self-sustain as a state on its own. And so, yes, they will achieve independence, but they should be encouraged to join. But they must have to join with another country so that they pull together resources and be able to better survive. And so, therefore, they ask the people of the Southern Cameroons, when you achieve your independence, who would you like to join? That was in February. Now, in February, the people of the Southern Cameroon decided that when we achieve independence, take note of this, when we achieve independence, which means
he kept insisting, drilling error in the minds of people. When we achieve independence, there is a difference between a preposition and an adverb. There is a difference between sequence and mechanism. I've taught this extensively. If they ask you, do you choose to come to school by bus or by a bicycle? You can't say, I got to school and then I will choose whether I use a bicycle or a bus. That is what I'm hearing. This is grammar. A brother that works for the American government, I think he serves in the military, told me that some of our people speak this English, but they don't understand what they are saying. And I'm beginning to believe that is true for some. Do you choose to gain independence? The question is so simple. Do you choose to gain independence by? Once you get this wrong, everything else will be wrong. That is why they assume that they gained their independence on October 1st, 1961. That is why they are following Somaliland right now. And they are trying to persuade Dion Guti and Atangan Jipo to leave their job in the government and come join them so that they can go build a nation like Somaliland that is poorer than the Cameroon that these people work for. Vision, standards, history. Vision, standards, history. That is my focus here. Nothing personal with anyone. I don't even know you. I don't know you like that. But this is our people. Some are stuck out here. They can't go back home. Mothers are crying every day, reaching out to me. Some of them care too much about money. Money is their God. Money is my servant. I don't look at money like that. This almost 3 years here, I haven't asked a dime. Some of you said, oh, my trip to Boya collected $2 million from the public, and we are still here. If there is anything, we have had more people dead and buried. And you believe that if you don't have the solution, no one else will. And then when you turn around tomorrow, my people, you blame a white man. Blame a white man. We tolerate things like this in our community. We tolerate this. And then we demand excellence. No.
The first condition, the precondition to joining is the achievement, the attainment of independence. That independence vote was not a formality because achieving independence was a precondition to the joining. I hope it's clear.
In the Horn of Africa,
he was so confident, always zealous on error. So we should reward him. Now I'm asking you, we should reward him for saying that. The world would have heard us by now if not for these errors. Let's keep listening to where he's taking us to. You can only confuse yourself and your followers with messages like this, not the international community. They know the story of Southern Cameroons well. We have seen how he does his research work through Google. That is his standard. We have seen how he interprets historical questions that are facts. Now, let's take a listen to his vision. Because he wants Atangan Jipo, he wants Prime Minister Dion Guti to leave their jobs and follow him. Let's take a listen.
Exists a self-governing territory that chose a slower, institution-first path. A place that built security through legitimacy, democracy through repetition, and stability through local ownership. That place is Somaliland. Today's conversation is about Somaliland, how it governs itself, how it maintains security, how its economy functions, and what its experience means for people elsewhere, particularly Southern Cameroonians, who are seeking to reclaim political autonomy after a broken political union in a failed experience with La République du Cameroun.
You've heard where he's taking us to. A country poorer than Cameroon. Do your research on Somaliland. Their GDP, that is their gross domestic product, and their GDP per capita, that is how much the average citizen is hypothetically making annually. He wants Minister Dion Guti, the Prime Minister, he wants Atangan Jipo to leave their jobs and follow him to go build a nation that is poorer than Cameroon. So that is his vision. So we've seen standards, we've seen history, and now we've seen vision. I won't follow you, support you with a dime to go build a nation like Somaliland. And they go on to cite all sorts of examples. I mean, some of our people come here bleeding. They have been programmed with these ideas. When they come here, it takes me a lot of time and work to undo what they have put in the heads of our people. Some live here crying. Somebody from Skakuf left here the other day and he was saying, in 1953, our parents left Nigeria without bloodshed. Look at us today. We don't even reflect what they did with their little knowledge at that time. They were diplomatic and got us out of Nigeria. Almighty Nigeria. Now we believe today diplomacy doesn't work. And we can't negotiate our way out of La Republic du Cameroon. So we are regressing. And then I come up with a diplomatic strategy, which is a method our ancestors have used before, and they make fun of it. Southern Cameroonians are not fools anymore. They can tell the difference. They can tell the difference. Again, 70% of our problem is within. I told you, you've seen it from my UN's visit. The attack did not come from outside, from within. 20% is with La Republic du Cameroon. 10% is with the international community. We can do all this work. I've said we have 2 to 5 years to make progress. If you, the people of Southern Cameroons, stay quiet and individuals like this multiply, amplify, distort what I'm doing here, it will take us longer. So everyone should be involved. This is not my nation. It is ours. After they lied about my relative, I knew that there are many things they are telling us that is not true. Just my UN's visit, he cannot even state properly what I said in that video. Now, let's take a listen to the founder of Ambazonian, because what they have done to us is try to mix up things. Remember, I told you we should use the name Southern Cameroons, nothing else. They ran to South Africa and started Skakuf just to create more confusion. I'm seeing what they are doing to us. This is what they are trying to do. They are trying to make sure that they mix up everything because they are confused about it. I don't think they know what they are doing. If you know, you don't do, you don't know. It's that simple for me. So this is what they are trying to do. They are trying to mix up the story of Southern Cameroons with that of Ambazonian. Please, they are distinct. It is like night and day. Based on my research and my visit to the United Nations, it confirms that Southern Cameroons is an incomplete decolonization case. Even John Gu Foncha confirmed on video that Amado Ahijo used a draft constitution to declare federation and a union. After reading the trusteeship records, it is accurate with what John Gu Foncha said. And I can cite John Gu Foncha, not Gojin Tinka, not Molan Njoli Tumbe. John Gu Foncha was a credible authority in the Southern Cameroons. So what he says matter. And you can dig into that to do your research work. Barrister Hamoni Bobga said there was no union treaty. He was representing a powerful institution, the legal institution. And they went on the street in 2016 in Bamenda. I can reference him on that for this research work. Anyone else, anything else is noise. We are focused on the institutions of Southern Cameroons. I'm not declaring independence. A statesman from Southern Cameroons that want to see us do better. And every citizen should carry the same pain to see us make progress and move forward. Have clarity on our story, on who we are. Eritrea went into a relationship with Ethiopia. Came out Eritrea. They never changed their name. South Sudan went into a relationship with Sudan. Came out South Sudan. They never changed their name. That helps their case. For crying out loud. Ghana changed their name from Gold Coast through a recognized government, not a private citizen. What are we really saying to the world? Burkina Faso changed their name from Upper Volta to Burkina Faso through a recognized government, not through a private citizen. So that means anyone that is charismatic in the southern Cameroons can wake up tomorrow and rename this territory. Say, now this is Boyazonia. And everyone will follow it without questioning where this idea comes from. This is how low we have become. Just like the research work he did, we can't get any lower than that. Intellectually, we can't get any lower than that. Let's take a listen to this.
If you follow my lecture rightly, the country that has seceded from union is La République de Cameroon, which has seceded. They declared their secession on February the 4th, 1984. It is they who have seceded. And we say you must follow your secession to the logical conclusion by pulling out of Ambazonia.
So that is the foundation of this movement, Ambazonian. It's on record from the founder. But I can't cite this in court or in any diplomatic circle. Was Gorgin Dinka the government of Southern Cameroons? In what capacity was he acting to change a name of an entire UN trust territory? And we accept that. He was not Poncha, Augustin Gomjwa. He could change a name of a UN trust territory. That means anyone can wake up tomorrow and do as they wish. This is what we have accepted. And we can go on to launch an independence movement on ideas like this. So, in essence, if you claim you knew there was no union treaty and then you went on to be part of Ambazonia, there is some accountability and responsibility on your part now and in the future. And Southern Cameroonians are taking note of that. Because this idea has led to the death of thousands of people. There is no way for you to really understand that there was no union treaty and then you accept an idea which affirms that a union failed in 1984. Those two premises are logically inconsistent. Think about it. So you are asking for divorce in a marriage that never existed. Thinking that is standard. So you will be accountable for your actions. Because what I attempt to do is base this research on the idea that many don't know. Because it's confusing to me to think that our people knew that there was no union treaty and then they went on to pursue a cause called Ambazonia. That is why I also went to the United Nations. Because there's no way for a rational human being to understand that there was no union treaty. And then Von Gorgin Dinka is saying the union failed in 1984 and you joined that movement. It doesn't make sense. Think about it for yourself. So there will be some accountability. When the government of Norway arrests Ayabacho, they don't say, oh, you've suffered too much, your people have been in pain so much, so we have to make sure we treat you a certain way. They say, no, we'll lock you up. So are those who have been arrested in America. You who want to reward effort, I wish the government of Norway or the government of the United States of America reward these people they have arrested for their effort. This kind of society, nah, you go nowhere. Debate from now till tomorrow, you will go nowhere. And you end up with more conspiracy theories that Britain sold you to France and they typed it in Google for you to research it. No, it came from an Ambazonian source. You feed yourself with the same information your people put in the machine. Garbage in, garbage out. A computer does not generate ideas from anywhere. It came from people. So you have to even teach your people technology, how to use technology. That these are all people's ideas that they put in that machine through blogs, through websites. When you're researching something, it pops up. But you have to look if that source is credible to cite. They don't know that. They stop there and they read that and teach the people. That is our society.
You must follow your cessation to the logical conclusion by pulling out of Ambazonian, or we have to stage a liberation war. Union of the two countries that formed United the Republic of Cameroon has been dissolved, and once that union is dissolved, the two countries that formed it become free.
He said this in his 50s and in his 80s. My people, are you understanding this? Let me break it down for you. Some say, oh, what you are saying here, others have said it. Let me break down what I understand. And I haven't heard anyone put it this way. If there is any video, upload it. Let me see that video. Sequence. On the 11th of February 1961, the people of the Southern Cameroons were asked if they choose to gain independence by joining the Independent Federation of Nigeria or the Independent Republic of Cameroon. Our people voted overwhelmingly, 70.5, to join La Republique du Cameroon. That is interest. That does not create a union. I want you to show me someone who has said it this way that I'm saying right now. So that is interest. There was Resolution 1608 on April 21st, 1961, at the 994th plenary meeting in New York, organized by the United Nations General Assembly. It was a Friday at 3 p.m., where 64 countries voted yes to the UN's mechanism on how we will join Cameroon, gain our independence by joining Cameroon on October 1st, 1961. That is what they were voting for. Paragraph 5 of Resolution 1608 that was issued that same day explained how this joining will be done. That our people have to go on to initiate, that is Britain, La Republique du Cameroon, and the government of Southern Cameroons, initiate urgent discussions with a view to finalizing the union before October 1st, 1961. Those discussions were never had. Big institutions make mistakes. Our people were the ones to bring this up. If 87 countries come together to vote, who are they protecting? Us, the people of Southern Cameroons. We have a duty and a responsibility to call the attention of the international community if that paragraph 5 was not instituted, because that is the root cause of all the problems that we've had in Cameroon. Are you understanding me? They left this treaty formation. So the next meeting would have been a meeting between Britain, La Republique du Cameroon, and Southern Cameroons to negotiate, sign, ratify a union treaty, and register that under Article 102 of the United Nations. That is standard after 1945. That never happened. They went on to initiate Fumban Conference. Fumban Constitutional Conference. A constitution is adopted after a union is formed, not after a plebiscite alone. That was interest. They would have signed, ratified, and registered a union treaty before October 1st, 1961. Then we can go on to have a constitutional conference. Ask our people on the ground, what happened? How was this union created? They will cite Fumban Conference because of our poor understanding of these stories. A constitution, this is state formation. I'm sure Foncha and many others did not know. Look at us today. The next generation will blame everyone alive today that we willfully acted this way and left them in a mess. Whatever we are doing right now, will affect future generations. That's why we should keep our ego on the side, align on truth, and build. What Fonja did in 1961, today we are facing the consequences of their actions. We can't leave the same mess to the next generation. So, because the paragraph 5 of Resolution 1608 was never implemented, we can't go on to accept the Fumban Conference as a fact. A unilateral constitution drafted by Amadu Ahijo, we can't accept that to be our destiny. A step was skipped. This is sequence. Now, we ought to sign, ratify, negotiate a union treaty before we have a constitutional conference. This is state formation. Most of our people back then did not understand this. So we make corrections today and not go on to say a union dissolved in 1984. And then we declare independence on that. So the fact that we declared independence is a classic indication we don't understand the story. Because if you understood that there was no union treaty, there is no way for you to be part of Ambazonian. Something is wrong. Do you understand? So we don't go on to say in 1972, they changed from the Federal Republic of Cameroon to the United Republic of Cameroon. We don't go on to say in 1984, the union was dissolved. We don't do that. This is clarity. There is none that I have seen from the Southern Cameroons for this past 65 years outline what I just said right now. If there is any, show me. So we make sure that the decolonization of Southern Cameroons is completed the right way. That is our burden of contention. And that is the focus of my research work. Do you understand? So I went into the United Nations to verify this fact. And this has reduced the work on our lawyers immensely. We needed to hire researchers, diplomats, policy writers, historians to research everything. But that one visit has reduced all that time and money that would have been wasted to hire all those people. They will come in, but not now, because at least that visit has given us something of substance to work with. Do you understand? Now, when the lawyers are done with their research, they will be able to present options for us. And you can't beat that. That is law before war. At least with those options coming from a credible international law firm, we have something tangible to take this case to the next level. This is how legal work is done. Many don't know. That is why they are fighting. It's confusing. I mean, I see that I'm confused. Like, how can you even be thinking of fighting me? How can you be thinking of even attacking me? It shows that you never understood this problem. You don't even understand what I'm doing. And yet you want to claim that you know everything. They came here, listen to me. They watched me talk about Southern Cameroons, went down there and created Skakov just to add more confusion. Do you understand? Now I've gone to the United Nations and I'm back. La Republic is not attacking me. They are attacking me. And they claim they wanted leadership in the community. They wanted somebody that can present a better option. And I'm not here critiquing people. I'm showing us something better that is true and authentic based on historical records and our history. And the only path that can open doors for us in this war. And we can't be thinking of building the first world nation. This will attract Dion Gute. This will attract Atanganjipo. You want people to leave their jobs? How many of you can leave America or leave Europe and move to a poor African country and settle there? How many of you can do that? You are working for a colonial master. You live in his country. And you criticize him in his country. And you can't leave his country and go to another poor African country. Yet you want someone working for La Republic's government getting a better pay to leave so you can go create Somaliland. We say no to this kind of standard. I mean, if this is the best we had, then we understand that this is the best we had. But if you are presented with something better, what is the problem? We'll have status keepers in this journey. People who will want to maintain the status of what they have always known, what they have always believed. And our job is to help them change their mindset. And you don't help them by trying to persuade them. You reduce the light that you have on them. Reduce the attention that you have, the finances that you put on them. And they will change slowly. Incentives. That is how we make progress. If not, we'll go nowhere. Again, I want to congratulate those who have been making their generous contribution towards this legal process. You are the heroes of our generation. You are not foolish. You can tell the difference. Let's keep pushing. I wish we had people in the community that understand this. 5 or 10 entrepreneurs in the community, we could solve this problem. We wouldn't have even brought it to the public. And they just see results. You don't want distractions in a legal process like this. This work is so deep. I know the amount of time I put in every day in studies and research. For somebody to pull up Google and research an Ambazonian blog or Wikipedia page to compare with field work on a research project like this. This is sad. This is how they look at you, Southern Cameroonians. This is the level that they see you to be at. And we say no to that. Upgrade. Everyone in the community upgrade. Our people deserve better. Our people deserve better. Southern Cameroonians deserve better. Those who say others have done what I'm doing, you don't understand what I'm doing. To say that indicates you don't understand what I'm doing. Or others have gone to the United Nations. When people say that, it usually means one of 3 things. First, they tried appearance, not discipline. You see how disciplined I am and structured with my work? They talked about law but never verified records. They've never verified the records at the UN. This one simple mission that I made to the United Nations. They mentioned the UN but never checked treaty registration. They spoke about lawyers but never defined scope, budget, or documentation. They've never done that. And some thought, oh, I'm hiring a lawyer to go fight La Republic of Cameroon. Pay attention to what I'm saying here. Because you guys will create the same narrative very soon. And start saying, oh, I said I'll hire a lawyer to go fight La Republic of Cameroon. That is not what I said. Watch this video time again and again. Secondly, they chase outcome. Most people here, they chase outcome while ignoring sequence. Like I've told you about the sequence. From the plebiscite to treaty before constitutional conference. That sequence was skipped. And that is where the problem is. That's why the villagers rose up in 2025. That's why the teachers and the lawyers went out in 2016. You don't get recognition before legality. Foncha went there in 1995. Never talked about this. You don't get sovereignty before classification. To tell me that you went to Banjul, you went to Abuja, you went to the Bamenda High Court to judge a case that has to do with the UN Trust Territory, and you think we should give you a pat on the back for that, and I'm bringing clarity and you're here trying to debate with me, doesn't make sense. So you don't get allies before clarity. Some people are trying to get allies. You want nations to align with you. I'm trying to lay a solid foundation on which we can have friends. Even those in prison could be released because of this foundation. Just what I have on record can free some in prison right now. This is more than everything you've done for the past 10 years. No capping. Clarity for the past 65 years. Just go study what I've put on this platform for the past 3 months and find freedom for yourself. You don't get allies before clarity. You get clarity first before you find allies. That is why it is a legal clarity framework. It's not coincidental. What we are going through, other nations have gone through in the past. We are not the first. So you either study and understand it or you don't. Skipping steps always feel faster, but it always collapses. And we have seen it for 9 to 10 years. Third, they confuse time spent with progress made. That if I've spent time, they should reward me. I wish this is how the world really works. 10 years of repetition is not experience. It is rehearsal of the same mistake. They got into this year, I saw the same thing like last year. But you saw the move that I made this year to tell you something new is coming. Change. It's new year. If something was truly tried and completed, there would be records, outcome, and institutional continuity. There would have been something for me to build on if they went into the United Nations and asked if the paragraph 5 of Resolution 1608 was instituted and they had something on record. That is the only thing we need. We would have used that to continue, but we didn't have that. I researched, I can't find that, so I went there to get that. What we had was effort without closure, and we want reward for that. Every society in transition divides naturally into 3 groups. The confused majority, not stupid, never taught structure. I said those who are 80 and below from the southern Cameroons have not been taught what leadership is, structure. Because after 1961, we don't have any leader in the southern Cameroons we could rely on. So I don't blame us. It's a journey, but let's accept where we are. That's the first step. If not, we will never get to see our hometown again. We'll remain this way forever. So, the confused majority never taught structure. They are watching quietly, learning slowly, recalibrating. That is good. The status keepers, that is a second group of people. They are benefiting from confusion, really benefiting from the pain of our people. Without this confusion, they can't flow. Clarity threatens their influence. I don't understand how you can be angry that I went to the United Nations to verify what they have on record about Southern Cameroons. And you said you knew it, and you went on with Ambazonian. A reverend father called me the other day, and he said they met Amba fighters in Cambe, and those fighters could not tell them why they are fighting. And you said you're doing a good job and you need to be rewarded. The young man got angry because he asked that question. Because he has been watching me, he could explain to them, if at all, they should be fighting and why they should be fighting. I have Chief Justice, former Chief Justice from Southern Cameroons calling me to appreciate the work, that I can't make it any simpler than this. From Southern Cameroons. Lecturers from universities in the Southern Cameroons calling me here to appreciate the clarity that I'm bringing to us. I don't understand how you can be angry. Something is wrong inside. It's not normal. I don't think it is normal to be angry with what I'm doing here. So clarity threatens their influence. They attack tone. They'll be very sensitive to tone than substance. They will discourage contributions. Tell people, oh, don't contribute. What is wrong, brother? They've collected money from the people. All we've had is dead bodies. Disorganized society, confused society, fragmented society, displaced people everywhere. It's unbelievable. And they will mock progress. That is what the status keepers do. And the third category is the builders. So we have the confused majority, we have the status keepers, and we have the builders. So the builders are 3 to 5% of a given population within the country. So this is research work. This does not come from Google. From books, you must study. If you could find it on Google, everyone could do it. Few come serious. They are about records. They know what this means. That's why I could find a treaty between England and Spain in 1604. These people keep records. And when you show up, you just want to talk and say, some pa said this, some mommy said this. Nobody deals with that in the real world. They care about records, institutions, and completion. Those are the people I'm talking to, not to everyone. We've had this idea that everyone must come together. No, we don't even want people to come together. We are very selective as to those we allow close to this project. Some of you think, oh, because you've been around for 9 to 10 years, you can call me and I tell you everything that we are doing. No, nobody owes you that. People who are confused, they humble themselves, they learn, they will grow. You come here with arrogance, bye. So these builders, they do not shout, they construct. History does not move when everyone agrees. So take that off your plate. It moves when builders hold the line long enough for the confused majority to see clarity. So that is our goal. So this is the target. You builders, we align. We hold the line strong enough and the confused majority join. The status keepers either join or fade away. It's that easy. That shift is already happening now. I can see it in us. Let's continue with this energy. So some are thinking that Southern Cameroonians are fools. We are not. They are wrong. Southern Cameroonians are not fools. Our people deserve better. What people are witnessing now is the spirit that built first world nations. That is what you're seeing right now. Clarity before emotion. Law before politics. When I hear your language, I can know if you're a politician, if you're someone grounded on law. Process before protest. Institution before personality. 10 years, you're saying the same thing every day and nothing is changing, and you keep doing the same thing over and over again. Doesn't add up. If you are fighting this spirit, you are not fighting me. This is what you are trying to fight. You are fighting the same mindset that allowed you to trust systems, respect rules. They say stand on the line. You stand on the line. You pick up your phone and call and it works because of a system. Board airplanes and function in ordered societies abroad. Societies that have some order. That is what you're trying to fight. I can't hear any substance in your critique of my work. I encourage you to critique my work, but let me hear some substance, facts, when you critique my work, and then I will build on that. That is how we make our societies better, not insults. So I know the spirit very well that destroys Southern Cameroons. I know it. History has documented it across centuries and continents. The British people were in Africa for 400 years. So they know you. That plebiscite question, they know you. You are a descendant of a people that had certain habits. They know you. We are breaking that generational curse in this dispensation. But I believe in us. Those who have been silenced, this is time for you to rise up and reclaim your territory. This is time for you. It is time for the completion, quiet and lawful, and the loudest answer history recognizes. Clarity. This is the first step towards freedom. Singapore did this. They established a solid legal foundation, and because of that, they were able to negotiate their way out of Malaysia without bloodshed. Estonia did the same. Botswana did the same. They established a solid legal foundation before anything else. This is how true movements that bring about change are formed. They start with a legal foundation before anything else. And with a solid legal foundation, war can be avoided. Do you understand? So we have Cash App, we have Zelle, we have the donation page. We want to make it easy for everyone else. Click and make your donations. Begin to pray seriously for your people, not for La République du Cameroon, for your people that are critiquing. All of them are confirming that my visit to the United Nations and what I have on record is accurate with what they thought. Then why are you part of Ambazonian? Why? Begin to pray for our people. Pray for those who are still confused. Again, this message is for builders. We have the confused majority. We have the status keepers. They will be agitating. And then we have the builders. 3 to 5% of any population of a country. And those people are the ones that build that nation. Those who think that this is just talk, I want you to show me someone in your community that has made a presentation like what I have done before you today. Show me that. Let me tell you something. In every society or in every field of study, there is always hierarchy, whether people like it or not, whether you feel good about it or not. It's like in this long form content space, YouTube is the boss. When it comes to social media, Facebook is the boss. When it comes to e-commerce, Jeff Bezos is the boss. You must have an authority in any field of study that everyone respects. If you don't have that in your society, you guys are in trouble. So thinking that everyone is equal or people are saying their own thing and I'm saying my own thing and it's all equal, it is wrong to have that kind of society. And to have a society where we think we should reward effort is a problem. So that means I will do all this work and then have to deal with attack from people. It's not fair. I never asked you a dime before going to the United Nations. It is part of my research work. It's not fair to do this work and people criticize me and you Southern Cameroonians stay quiet. It's not fair. We must have standards. There are some people in every society that you tell others, keep quiet and listen to that person. Again, we'll create an archive. Southern Cameroonians and future generations will be able to research and cite this visit in the future. And they'll go in there and read what the United Nations wrote to me. And they will get a pass mark on that. We haven't seen anything yet on record from the United Nations based on that paragraph 5 of the resolution 1608. If it was properly instituted, that is our last bus stop at the United Nations. Anything you're looking for after that, you don't understand this problem. It's that simple. It's like 1 + 1 is equal to 2. There's no debate on this. There's no debate. If you can argue 1 + 1 is equal to 2, we have an issue with that kind of logic, with that kind of reasoning. Do you understand? It's like you see achu and someone is telling you this is fufu. Everyone knows that this is achu. You don't have a view on this. If you call it something else, we will teach you. Maybe you come from a different country and you don't know this. So we teach you. We don't say, oh, you have your own view. No, we teach. Just like they heard about my preparation to the United Nations and they are talking about it like I said something to feel good about myself. No, it's uniform, dressing for an event a certain way, and you should learn that today. Pick books and read, and not spend all your time on Google and social media to find information that will help you build a nation. It's not realistic. Read books. Read books. That is why you hear me speak. It hits you this way. It's not coming from Google. It's coming from studies. Walk. Physically, I exercise. I can go down and do 50 push-ups without blinking. So can you do that? Can you read 4 books a month? Brother, when you see somebody like this, shoot that ego and join them and walk and not fight them. Doesn't make sense. Just me alone, your entire team combined, you're not up to a fraction of what I put in on this case. That is why I give you sound bites. You take and you run down there to create Skakov. And you think we'll have a society where everyone is flat. Everyone came out of the same oven. God is not a fool. So, my people, we are going somewhere. I believe in us. Change is coming to Southern Cameroons. Click the subscribe button. Share this video with a friend or a loved one. No private citizen has the right to unilaterally rename a UN trust territory. Again, a UN trust territory with an incomplete decolonization status. A private citizen. It doesn't happen. And that collapses the Ambazonian argument, full stop. We clean the house before we start talking about La République du Cameroon. Keep making your contributions, whether it is $5, $10, $20, $100, $1,000, or $5,000, $10,000, $20,000, or $50,000. I wish we have great men in the community that understands this. This is the first step towards freedom. I'll see you next time.
Southern Cameroon's crown of freedom, you have it. A first world nation in a third world continent, you have it. Put your mind to the process, cutting edge systems, you have it. With top tier strategy, I don't see us losing, you have it. With great institutions, one single vision, you have it. Make Africa stable for trade and worship, you